It's Dave here from Amplify, and I'm talking to Brook Chivell, who's an Australian country music star. So, Brookie, how are you today?
I'm good, Dave. How are you?
Good, good, good. So, have you always wanted to be an artist?
Oh,
Did
my
you,
whole life. My
so,
whole life.
from when?
Well, I remember writing my first song when I was about 6 or 7 years old.
And
So
are the parents musical? Is there some reason that that was that you were focused that way young?
I didn't learn until kind of later on that like my mum's mum was quite musical and my dad's dad was quite musical, but neither of them kind of played an instrument. We used to play this game when we were kids. We didn't listen to the radio very because my dad used to listen to like 3 Low or one of the talkback stations in Melbourne.
Fantastic. Yeah, yeah.
And so we used to play this game where he'd sing songs or whistle tunes, and we had to kind of guess what they were, and we'd sing
Oh,
along because I've got a sister, so we were kind of developing our ear really, really early on, which is I had no idea we were just playing games, but yeah,
that could be where it all started.
yeah.
Outskirts of Melbourne. Whereabouts is the outskirts? What area?
I grew up in Tullamarine, which when I grew up was the outskirts of Melbourne,
Oh,
but
it
now
is.
it's kind of
Oh, no, that's right. It's a bit more. It's a bit more suburb,
yeah,
but it's a long way. I ran away from home when I was 14 in '72,
yeah,
and I was living in Springvale, which is way the other way,
yeah.
and I caught a taxi from Springvale to Donnybrook at 3 o'clock in the morning. I was going to hitchhike,
Wow.
and then I didn't hitchhike, and I went all the way to Tullamarine to the airport, and caught two planes under an assumed name, which you could do
Mm,
back in '72 as a
well, yeah.
14-year-old. So anyhow,
Um,
all that. So
I mean,
Tullamarine, so the outskirts. So uh, uh, would it have been because it's outskirts, is a country connected, or
oh,
not really? You didn't really have any.
not Not really. No. When I was growing up, it was kind of, I mean, it was kind of the years of Kiss and, Kiss were in
Yeah,
a
yeah,
mega band at the
yeah,
time.
yeah,
And,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it was kind of a lot more rock and roll, it was a lot more Aussie rock, particularly in the, outer west, northwest kind of thing. So,
Okay, so you were songwriting as a youngster, and you probably kept doing that. When did the entertainment, when did the performance stuff start?
I mean, I was always, I was super scared to go on stage as a little kid. So there was different opportunities, like singing at church or in the school choirs and all that kind of stuff. And I always got the kind of leady roles, not necessarily that lead, but I'd be like the second best singer in the school or whatever. So we're doing, and that was probably, grade 4, 5, 6 at primary school. So that's when I didn't catch the bug because I just remember standing there on the side of the stage with my hands being super clammy and I didn't know
Right.
what this feeling was inside me that made me want to vomit.
What's his name? What's his name? I can't. When you get old, you forget all the things that are stupid, and you should forget. Um, the dude on the Commodores and the you know
Oh, Lionel Richie.
Lionel Richie was scared his whole life. He
Yeah,
reckons when he was with the Commodores, it was all right because all the boys, and when he went solo, he said, I think in 2011, 12 or something, when he went on a lifetime sort of award, that he was terrified. Even then, he was terrified every time he performed solo. Terrified,
yeah,
terrified, and you'd never pick it up because all the stuff that he did. So it must be. I think it's a common thing to have shaky knees, from a performance point of view. But it's also pretty common, I think, when you go on, you probably become, you understand why you're there, and you get pretty comfortable. So,
yeah,
and
yeah.
so
And you like at the start it would last the whole performance.
yeah,
And as time went on, it was, I'd just
you
be standing
become.
side of stage with, butterflies. And as soon as I walked on, I'd forgotten all about it. But
And
now,
you,
and
and,
it just depends on the gig now. If it's a big gig, I will get a bit nervous still.
Yeah, 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 yeah. And what if A Star Is Born, he looks like he's singing to himself, like in
Yeah,
front of the crowd. So, I suppose that's how it gets after a while, that you sort of go out there and you perform to yourself, depending upon whether you really need something from the outcome. So what age were you then when you started to sort of gig? So how long you been gigging normally, let's say, or
Just so I started playing gigs when I like properly like I was in a cover band in Melbourne when I was in my mid 20s. So, a long a really long
country or rock?
that was just right. That was just standard cover band, run of the mill, Jesse's Girl, followed by
Yep, yep, yep,
Video Kills a
yep,
Radio Star,
yep,
all of the same stuff everybody else is playing. And
yep.
I did that for 10 years. So I was, kind of learning the tricks of the trade, just by doing it repetitively over and over and over again. But I didn't actually start writing. I'd written my own music, but I was kind of rock based, and I'd keep bringing in songs to the guys in the band. It was kind of a, Guns N' Roses meets Foo Fighters type deal. And I'd bring songs into the band. They'd be like, great song. We can't use it though. I'm like, oh, why not? They're like, it's too country. And I didn't, I
Boom,
just
boom,
was like, I would just kept saying, what do you mean? It's not country. I don't do
boom,
country.
boom. A Star is Born. Yep,
But-
you're ready. You're ready to move.
And I think it's one of those things I've always kind of written from the heart as opposed to I don't write for other people. I've never really done that. It's always just been whatever comes out. And that
Okay.
because my dad listened to a lot of country, so I guess it was kind of coming out from there.
Yeah, 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 yeah. In the background, you probably didn't
Yeah.
realize. How would you describe your sound? Now, I know we can say country, but how would you describe your sound?
I mean, it's really country rock. There's a lot of rock influence in just because I kind of grew up because I kind of considered myself a guitar player more than a singer for the longest time. So I was always learning, kind of Guns N' Roses and even into metal and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of that kind of element that runs through my music as well.
And
And
you,
a lot of, in country, it's kind of the people say, three chords and the truth. And I'm three chords bore the living everything out of me. I can't do that three
no,
chord.
fair
I
enough.
don't I don't like it. Like I just especially at the moment, everything's four chords. It's the same four chords. There's no
Yeah,
changes. There's
yeah,
no
yeah,
pre-choruses or
yeah, yeah,
bridges.
yeah,
And I like to be challenged by music.
yeah,
So I
yeah,
like to kind of write challenge. For me, it's about writing something that's challenging and being able to slip it past the listener without them thinking, oh, that sounds weird.
yeah,
So I'll put a lot of different elements into my music that, when people go to learn the songs, they go, oh, that's kind of weird. I wasn't expecting any of that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
With a band mostly or solo
yeah,
mostly?
I try to do it with the band as much as possible because it just translates better because, when I record, there's all of the all the different elements going on. There might be three or four guitar parts. And then
Yeah,
when
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like, oh, can you do this acoustic? You're going like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah,
so what do I play out of that?
yeah. What do you think fans have resonated? Is it more performance, more sound? What resonates with the fans, you think?
I mean, in the country scene, it's definitely just the message. In the end, that's the thing that it really comes down to is do people relate to the tune or to the words, which is difficult for me because for the longest time I didn't really care about the words. The words were just a way for me to be able to play guitar.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So I had to really, and I write with one of my best friends is a really good lyricist. So I kind of write with him a lot, and he writes the message, and then I kind of tune the message to what I want it to be.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Well, you've got to, if you're going to be authentic, you're not going to be the whole package all the time. You're going to be
No,
different things at different stages, and
yeah,
then you're going to turn up and do that. I've interviewed blokes who were. I interviewed one guy that was, had millions of followers and big artist band, and he couldn't do an interview sitting down like this. He had to walk around the park with a phone, and he had
yeah,
to hold here, and he had to be walking around. So everyone's got their idiosyncratic sort of
no doubt.
differences, and in fact, it's probably what makes you because the audience we're in an authentic sort of period where podcasts and all that people like to think that they're dealing with something that's reasonably authentic in that scenario anyway.
Yeah, I guess
So,
that's one of the difficult parts. Like I enjoy doing one-on-one interviews. I find it really difficult when there's groups of people. I'm very, I think because I spent so many years locked in my bedroom playing guitar, literally 10 hours a day, literally. And I think when everybody was out kind of learning how to deal with people and be in groups and all that kind of stuff, I never learned that. So
but
there's times
I
when,
think but that's going to be your head though. That's your head
Yeah,
saying that.
yeah,
Because the actual principle of talking to 10 people or one person is exactly the same,
yeah,
except when your head gets engaged and says that it's different. I
yeah,
think that I think that a lot of times your journey is about understanding your jigsaw puzzle. So you're putting
yeah,
pieces into your jigsaw puzzle. And when you're comfortable with your jigsaw puzzle, you don't need anything from anyone. So you can turn up and you can do whatever you do in that sort of scenario.
yeah,
I don't get nervous anymore. I'm an old dog, but I don't get nervous anymore doing anything with anyone. I just spoke to Jacob from Sublime a couple of hours ago, and I didn't know him before that, and I thought he was his dad because his dad's name was Jacob.
oh wow,
And when I was doing the research, because I do lots of interviews, I thought, gee whiz, and I do a lot of that. They were setting me up to talk to Jerry from Talking Heads. So I was thinking 75-year-olds and 70-year-olds and
yeah,
all. And here he is, he turns up and he's got messy hair and tats and chest open. And I thought to myself, mate, you look young. You only look like you're 30, and he was 30.
oh wow,
So to some degree, I think part of my view is part of your journey is about you learning about you. So
no doubt,
all those differences eventually will come to fruition. So the whole social media and all that shit about getting somewhere isn't really important at all. It's just important that you get to where you need to get to and enjoy whatever you need to enjoy. Having said that, um, your latest single, Like a Country Girl's just been released.
yeah.
What's it all about? Tell us what it's.
Uh, I mean, it's really just a party song. It's the kind of a, I play a lot of country gigs. I play a lot of B&S balls and stuff like that. And you can see these kids, and it's not only really for the girls. It's written like that because, it's kind of the best way to put it across. But, these kids are out there working their butts off on farms and, whatever they happen to be doing, and then they just tie one on the weekend. It'll go from Friday to Sunday.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know how they do. They'll be, in the paddocks key banging their. I don't know if you know what key banging is.
No. What is
Uh,
kid?
so, so basically, you take your mum's ute generally, or you take your ute or your four-wheel drive out, and they sit them in the paddock. They rev the living crap out of them, and you turn them on and off really quickly, and they backfire through the heads. And it's just these B&S balls just like bang, 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 bang until
Oh
eventually the
my
car
God,
explodes.
man.
It's crazy. And they'll be out there cracking whips and just tying one on, having a really, really good time. And the song is just it's for the girls that, you go and play a honky tonk. There's always a bunch of girls dancing. You go to a normal pub sometimes and just no one's engaged, but you play one of these country pubs and the
They're up.
ladies
They're going.
specifically, they're up dancing, they're having a ball, and that usually gets the blokes into it as well. And you gotta you gotta just love that.
I remember back in, Beulah up near Warwick Nabel. I used
Yeah.
to go out I went out with a girl from there and we went to a football match or
Oops.
something or other. You're right, you're right. And after the football match, we went back somewhere, and this is like country town, really small
My
country
my
town.
folks live up near there.
Well, it's a small country town, and the football, there were hundreds of people there. Like, when they come back for the night, people come from everywhere, and it's just a
Yeah.
massive hall, and it's a massive situation. So I think people probably underestimate country a little bit in terms of size, because
Yeah.
it's just massive. You look at Tamworth now. Tamworth is like an institution.
Yeah.
It's just massive. So
The biggest country festival in the world.
yeah, and it is. And I ran away to Gunnedah, which was just near Tamworth.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a massive sort of situation. Tell me, how come you haven't done an album yet?
I've done two.
You
I've
have.
got
How
two
come they're
albums.
not on? How come they're not on YouTube? On Spotify?
So the first one is under. So I started out with the band. It was called the Brook Chivell Band.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that
yeah.
was that was the first thing I recorded. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know anybody in the country music scene. I just recorded this album, which I thought was pretty good. And so that was in a band. So on Spotify, that's and all the digitals, it's up as the Brook Chivell Band. The second album, because I released it a little bit in kind of dribs and drabs, because releasing an album these days is, I'm not going to say it's pointless because I personally love albums, but it's not how they drop through Spotify. And if you
Not
go and
not
put
not
your
usually.
yeah, if you put your whole album up on Spotify and then try and release singles off that, it doesn't allow you to pitch them to
It's harder,
uh
but you find established bands bring out
yeah,
albums because
yeah, yeah,
they always
yeah,
have, so
yeah,
it's a pretty natural sort of thing. But yeah, you'll find more modern artists are sort of bringing out a lot of videos and a lot of stuff that predominantly has more fan connectability sort of
yeah.
because people
It's kind of
people in the TikTok age they haven't got time to you know
yeah,
go through 10 songs or 20 songs or something like that. So.
which is crazy to me because as a kid, most of my favorite songs weren't the singles.
No,
There was
no,
some album track that just blew my mind, and
no.
that's
Even
come out. In my brain, that's come out as something else for me later on. I very often have, when I record, songs, I usually go with other songs that are kind of the template. I don't necessarily, I'm not trying to get anywhere near them, but in my brain, I'm going, oh, well, that's that Black Crow song is this song or whatever it happens to be. So, um, yeah, and then it's never the single. It's never,
uh,
it's never the single.
so what's on the drawing board at the moment? Is the next one a single or an EP or what's coming out after this one? I know this one's just come out.
It'll be another single. I've got so I released up until July, I released a song every month,
Yeah.
and then the wheels fell off when my dog died, which kind
Sorry
of
to hear that, man.
devastated me, to be honest, because he had a heart attack right in front of me and died, which was
How
just,
old?
he was 9.5, but he's a mastiff, so big dog. Um, so the wheels kind of fell off, but I've kind of got back to it now. So I released a song last month, a song this month. I'll do another one in December, probably on Christmas Day, just for the fans and stuff.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
they're not all going to radio, so it's
No, no, no. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
obviously everything costs money these days. So
Yeah, too
I'm
much.
just yeah, I'm just releasing songs for my the people that follow me. So just to keep them,
Yeah,
it's not
happy.
even
Hey, no, you got to
yeah,
feed the audience because it's the audience it's the followers that bring followers. Think
yeah,
about new people because the new people come from the baked in people,
yeah,
and
yeah.
they're payers because they turn up. Everyone
That's
that
right.
comes online likes you because you look something or other, or the
Yeah,
bird you've got on the video is pretty, or something like that, and
yeah.
they don't put their hand in their pocket. So
That's
it's a tough gig.
It really is. It really is a tough because and as far as festivals go, like a lot of festivals aren't even looking at who the artist is. They just go, oh, 50,000 fans. They'll pull
Yeah,
a percentage of those to a
that's
gig.
it. That's it. That's it.
They may have never
Engagement.
done a gig. They may have never done a gig before.
No, engagement. They don't care. They
No.
don't care if you do the spoons. If you bring people, you can
Yeah,
do whatever you want to do, which is disconcerting too, I presume.
it is. I used to just think that was a cover band sensation. Like I used to say very often to people, oh, if there was a monkey playing castanets and people came to see that, we wouldn't have a gig because the pub cares about selling drinks. They don't care. We're just a drink seller. That's in a
No,
cover band. That's what you are.
there's a business point in that though, because
Yeah,
basically, what are you trying to do in trying to pay $5,000 to the producer and all this sort of stuff? When really, if you want to generate an outcome, it's not going to be coming from. It's going to be coming from what you do with the music, not
yeah,
music. So you
yeah,
have to be doing something else. In these days, it could be acting, could be podcast, could be shorts, could be a whole range of things. But
yeah.
you've got to have some unique part that brings the TikTok age to you, because
That's the tough thing, man.
it's a tough thing. It's a tough thing. But the whole point, from my perspective, is what we do here is we sort of feed the audience. We're
Yeah,
interested in helping feed your audience rather than build your audience, because you'll build your audience naturally if you feed your audience with,
yeah.
in my view, it's an old school sort of principle. Do you replace a dog
Not yet. Not yet. Probably sometime next year, I
too
think.
soon?
Yeah, a little bit.
You
It's
had it since kid, since
yeah, yeah, yeah. I got him when he was 18,
yeah,
18 weeks old.
that's a big loss, man. It's a big loss.
Yeah.
Okay, you got a few dates coming up in Queensland in November, December, and you've
Yeah.
got a few more down the east coast. I think there was one in Terang or something or other, one
Yeah.
country
Yeah.
country Melbourne. country Victoria. In the next couple of months, what else is coming up? What have you got coming up that you're sort of working towards?
So I'm always writing. I've got 3 or 4 songs ready to go once I can get back in the studio. My my producer that I work with most of the time, his partner's pregnant, so he's just kind of put a block out for a couple of months, and he's also working. When I started working with him, I was probably the big artist that he had, and now he's working with some of the big artists in the country scene
Well, hopefully
specifically.
that works. Why, collaborations are the go.
Yeah, yeah,
Collaborations, you've got to find where you find artists is supports for gigs and festivals and all that sort of stuff
yeah,
because there are already people that like the genre. So
yeah,
basically, if you've got something going on, and I usually say before and after, do something with them before physically and do something with them after physically because you've got to
yeah,
make a connection. So it's not
yeah.
necessarily always going to be from your 20 minutes. So are you going to do some collabs? Because country is probably known for its collabs.
Yeah, I haven't been looking for them, but I probably should. I probably should. Um, I guess I don't know. I don't know.
Well,
Well, I have
it
done.
depends, but it depends what you're after. If
Yeah,
you're after just satisfying yourself, you can do whatever you want. If
yeah,
you're after an outcome, you've got to have a plan. And
yeah,
if you're gonna have a plan, the plan should be about multiplying. So
yeah,
basically, you might get a publication to work with because they can help multiply your outcome. You'll get collaborations because they're going to come with their own people, and you might
yeah,
collaborate up rather than collaborate down. You
yeah,
might get someone that's hot, but I reckon that's probably the way to go myself.
yeah,
The
yeah. I mean,
music industry is a tough industry, man.
it really is.
And
And I guess because I have always just written for myself. So, but I obviously do want that to turn into other things because I think even though I'm writing for myself, I think I'm releasing really good music. So it's the hard bit is, not being necessarily of the digital age, learning all of that because I mean,
I think again, I'm more of the view that the opportunity, you're either a technical guy or you're a relational guy.
yeah,
If you're a relational guy, the opportunities are going to come from what you see in your relationships and what you pick up and
yeah,
how you collaborate and how you connect, etc. Because you can find people to do the digital. If you're a
yeah,
technical guy, well, make your own chocolate and make $1 billion. Go off,
yeah,
stop singing, because basically there's no money in singing. Well, in general, too many people bring music out. The majors
yeah,
want to keep all the money from streaming. The majors want to make contracts that are weighted one way, and
yeah,
these are just traditional things that go on forever and ever. So
yeah,
you've got to really work out a plan that is effective, and
yeah,
once you've
yeah.
worked that out, well, then you can get somewhere.
It's definitely part of.
There we go. We've lost him.
Am I back?
You're back. We just saw
Um,
Brooke. What happened,
I,
man?
I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know what happened there.
it's
I must have touched something with my finger
probably
accidentally.
probably a Martian came through in the
It
background
could have
from the
been.
beach down the
Yeah,
road.
trying to put together a team is, that's been difficult over the years. I mean, trying to find, anybody that wants to invest their time into your thing is always difficult. But, you know, I feel like that's probably as far as, I'm really bad at the schmooze. I've always been really bad at the schmooze
Well, you got to
because
get better at it.
I definitely do. And in the past, I've kind of had people around me that could do that for me. So, and once the conversation is going, I'm fine. But, I just sometimes I just have a really massive case of imposter syndrome that I've had probably my whole life.
Yeah, but it's just bullshit.
It is.
The simplicity is a moment, and there's your collaboration with it, and
Yeah.
everyone has the same opportunity to collaborate with the moment. So that makes us
Yeah.
all equal. So
Yeah.
if you think someone's collaborating more with their moment, that's taking you away from your moment. So what would you fucking think about someone else's moment
Yeah.
and take
And
you away from having yours?
I guess it's one of like I was kind of raised as I just feel like I'm sitting here making excuses now, but
No, no, no. I feel like you'll be crying soon, and we'll be able to share the tears. So it'll be good.
I was definitely raised by a father that was kids are to be seen but not heard. And that's been very, very tough to break out of over the years. I'll usually sit there and listen. I've always listened to everything that's going on, and you know, I've probably learned a lot more than I haven't learned by doing that, because sometimes when you give people space to say things, they'll just keep going.
What's the craziest thing you've ever done?
Ready? Bungee jumped.
What was that? Bungee jumped. Yeah,
Bungee jumped.
that's healthy. You don't have to worry about your music career if you bungee jump. What's the one topic you
Nah,
can talk about for hours?
guitars.
Guitars,
Yeah.
as in like Gibsons and stuff, electrics, acoustics.
Uh, any and all. Probably more electrics, but yeah, amps,
And
pedals, anything.
what's your favorite pedal? The tube
Uh,
screamer.
nah, Zen Drive. Zen Drive's my favorite pedal.
What's the thing you like most about yourself? Obviously, nothing from what you talked about before.
No. I don't give up.
Yeah, good, good. Well, don't give up. That's the most important thing. All right, let's finish with these are all time or current. Favorite album?
Appetite for Destruction.
That's a good album. Favorite artist?
Keith Urban.
What's your thoughts?
On Keith Urban.
On that whole scenario.
In what?
Everyone breaks up. It's a pity that yours has to be so public.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I think I'm on his side myself.
I mean, I don't think there's any sides to be taken. I don't really, I mean, I definitely can divorce a person's art from their personal life.
No,
I don't
yeah,
really
yeah,
care
yeah,
what he does in his
I
personal
know,
life.
I know. It would be hard. It would be hard with his sort of. Anyhow, we shouldn't talk about it, but it would be hard with his sort of background to
Oh,
not be, not be. He's a pretty cool guy. Anyhow,
yeah.
enough of all that. Favorite movie?
Uh, it's either blood sport or major league.
Yeah, I think I know why you haven't kicked on, man. No, I'm joking. Uh, favorite place to visit?
uh, Nashville.
You got a baby in the back there.
Yeah.
How cool is that? And Nashville school. Have you spent much time there?
I've been there. I've been there twice. Um, the first time was for about 7 weeks, and the second time was just for CMA Fest. So I was only there for a
It's a
week.
great place to, even for rock stars.
Yeah,
It's a great place to collaborate.
it's definitely not just country.
No, and it's definitely not just like Tennessee's. I like Tennessee myself anyway because I got
Yeah,
made in Knoxville, but
yeah,
but it's definitely not a backward town sort of.
no,
It's full on, especially for me.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
favorite venue to play?
That's a tough one, because most of my favorite gigs have been at
Festivals.
festivals. Yeah, so I mean, nothing really beats the Crowbar at Gimpy Muster. That's pretty amazing. Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's Gimpy's. That's a big for you guys. That's big turn, big time.
definitely.
Favorite food?
Thai.
I don't like wearing them. Favorite drink?
Favorite drink. My main drink is Sambuca and Diet Coke.
Black?
Black Sambuca and Pepsi Max, actually.
I drink black Sambuca straight and have done for like 30, 40 years, man. I love
Yeah,
it. I love it.
yeah.
It's the best. Uh,
I should say Bundy, but that'd be lying.
no, you can't. Not for the fans. The fans will find you out. They'll,
Yeah.
they'll, they'll watch you at a gig and they'll see you're not drinking it and they'll share the.
I do drink it at gigs.
It's probably
Yeah,
cheaper.
way cheaper. Yeah.
Favorite person in history apart from me?
Buddy Holly.
Well, there's a story that most people don't know. And he died at what age? 20 what?
23.
23 he died at, and his remembered now, 60 years later or whatever.
Yeah, amazing. Like
Amazing.
I could only imagine what he could have been. Like
Well,
just directions he was going as a 23-year-old. Just
mental,
insane.
just mental. That's in that age.
Yeah.
Because they weren't encouraging youth in that age. They were
No.
sort of saying, "Sit down."
Yeah.
And your favourite tattoo, or are you clean skin?
No, I've got two.
What's your favourite?
Probably this one. It's upside down.
And what is
Can't
that?
really see it. So my grandfather fought in the Second World War,
And so
and
it's the
uh,
boat.
that's that. So it's his service badge, which is like his VX number, and he was in the Second 14th Field Battalion. So it's that plus the Rising Sun hat badge behind it.
Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic. How old's the little one, mate? He looks like he's about 6 months or something.
Nah, she's 18 months.
Gee, 18 months.
Yeah.
I'm only seeing the head through the.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
How
Doing
does
some,
that? How does that change the music
oh, a bit.
in
Not,
terms of what you can do, or in terms of what you
nah.
create?
I mean, I'm still gigging as much as I ever was, and just creating. Yeah, I've definitely written some songs that have got that kind of thing of fatherhood in it. I guess. Yeah.
All right, that's it. Well, listen, just believe in
Just
yourself,
just do it.
man. I mean, at the end of the day, uh, part of this whole process is you learn more about yourself. And what you've learned is if you're going to do an interview, you've got to make sure that you know where you are, what you're doing, how you're connected, and all that sort of stuff. So that's what.
100%.
But
100%.
but there is no there is no imperfect. Everything's perfect. You just don't know why. So every time
Yeah.
that you're feared, have this going on, lose money, something happens, just forget about it because it's just a part of it's the weather. And you
Yeah.
can't change the weather. So just keep going. Just make sure that your objective is to do what you want to do. So if you want to do music, do music. You want to get bigger, get bigger. Whatever you want to do, you've got the ability to because you're already here.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be talking to you if you're. No, I probably would be talking to you. I'd probably talk. All right, mate. Well done.
Thank you.
The new single is
Like a country girl.
Like a Country Girl. So everyone get to Like a Country Girl, give it a view, and go see Brook when he's coming past your place.
Please do.
Thanks, man. Thanks
Thanks, dude.
very much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
Good
Appreciate it.
luck. Good luck.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.